My name is Lee Wyser. I am 57 years old. I'm a professional athlete for Natural Bodybuilding Association, which is one of the biggest bodybuilding associations in the world. I am a personal trainer and a group fitness instructor. I also compete in ultra marathons. So ultra marathons has always been a part of my life. I absolutely love long distance running. I also compete in duathlons, which is the long distance duathlon where you run 10 kilometers, cycle 150 kilometers, and then you run 30 kilometers. So in total, 190. Absolutely phenomenal. I spend a lot of time training. My training comes first, my racing comes first, and of course, I love to train other people to become better runners, to become bikini athletes, and to become ultramarathon and ultra duathletes. I have done over 200 shows in my time. Was very blessed to win my first bodybuilding championships when I was 19 years old, SA championships. Of course, there were not many girls who were doing weightlifting, so it was really an incredible time. And then finally, the show started to present bikini. So it wasn't all about bodybuilding. And I quite liked the bikini where you could be very feminine and not show the muscle, but you could be more like a model. And that's what I aspired to. And then of course with the fitness where you've got to do a choreography. So I went a little bit more for the rhythmic gymnastics. I still compete at my age. I just haven't had the time since COVID really to go back to Las Vegas and to compete. But at the age of 50, I could have got my pro card a lot sooner, but I won the Natural Olympics in Las Vegas, and I got my Natural Pro card as a bikini competitor. And it's just been absolutely incredible. The amount of time on stage, getting ready with the makeup, the nerves for your choreography. Are you going to do the T-walk? So it's really just showing off, which I really enjoyed. But for me, mostly it was more about motivating younger girls and women who had problems, eating disorders, and just to show them that anything is possible and it's okay to love yourself the way you are. So it goes back to, it depends what I'm training for. When I'm getting ready for a show, then people look at me and they say, you're getting too thin, you're looking too manly. And the biggest misconception of women is that they will go into the gym and they're going to look like a man. This is not so. I have been training with weights for years, and for me to look like a man will be very difficult. So it depends entirely on your genetics, exactly what your genetics are. But please go into the gym, train with weights. There's absolutely nothing wrong with training with the weights. And also, of course, being in the gym is wonderful because you can focus just on you. Coming into a group fitness class is more about social and having fun, letting go of the emotional release. But definitely the misconception is that if you're going to train in the gym, you're going to look big and bulky. This is not so. Actually, I had problems with my feet as a child, and I had to wear these very heavy black boots, and I was knock-kneed, pigeon-toed, so you can literally say in those days that I was disabled with my legs. And I taught myself to run. And at boarding school, I used to jump out of the window and just ran. The kids used to laugh at me in the beginning, but then I excelled so well in sports, and then I loved sports and just realized how much joy and satisfaction that it gives you. And no matter what mood you're in, if you just go and do sports, then sports just makes you happy. I guess it's the dopamine in the brain, right? I think in every part of your life, you need balance. So you need spiritual balance, you need mindfulness, you need physical as well as family. And it's really important that, number one, you take yourself first. And the biggest gift you can give yourself is to look after you first and to spend an hour a day just exercising for yourself. Sometimes as a personal trainer, we sort of lose track of, we want to train the people all the time. But I definitely found that having the balance and making sure that I block out time for myself so that I can recharge, and exercise for me is recharging. Well, you will never believe it, but I am attention hyperactivity deficit disorder, so I really need to exercise. But I think since COVID, there was a huge gap for me where I felt like I lost a part of myself, and then all of a sudden I didn't feel like training. Everything was so difficult. You couldn't go train, and I got to a point where I was suffering with depression, and then I sat down and I said, all right, what do I have to do to get back to where I was? Because I lost a part of me. The only way that I could do it is to block time and to be disciplined, because motivation just can come, but discipline, you have to be disciplined. So I set aside time and I said, okay, today, this is my goal. I'm going to be running, I'm going to be cycling, I'm going to be training. But you've got to set time for yourself. It doesn't just come. And maybe, once again, speak to a friend and get a friend that you can reach out to and say, please text me in the morning. Ask me to come and train with you, or let's go run together. It's always better together. Yes, that is an interesting question. Always as a child, I always had an amazing physique because of my sports. And there was a point where I was anorexic and very, very thin. And it's quite a dangerous place to be in. And then on the other hand, I ended up being obese after my second child because I was too nervous to exercise because my first birth was so difficult. And so I just ate myself to a standstill. And from all the years of dieting as an athlete, I became obese. And then I decided to really go hands-on and study nutrition and to make myself better. And how do I do that? But you do need support. It's very hard to do it on your own. Most of the times I did it on my own, and I studied and I went through roller coasters of thin, fat. And then eventually I realized as I got older that this is a good line and a good weight for me to be at. And if you definitely, I believe, if you've got a problem, an addiction, if you've got abuse or anything when it comes to food, lack of food, reach out. There's always people there to help you. It's really difficult on your own. So I would suggest for anybody, just train an hour a day. Maybe on the weekends, you don't specifically have to go to the gym. Go for a walk, go for a swim, go for a hike. But generally speaking, I would say 1 hour a day. For ladies, my age, I definitely recommend 3 hours a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, doing your strength training. Tuesdays and Thursdays, maybe go and do a cardio class or a body shape class. But definitely an hour a day is a good system. Yeah, so for strength training, I started at a very young age. From the age of 13, I started training with weights. Weight training is not for everybody. A lot of the women get exceptionally bored. But once you see how you can sculpt your body and how you can change your body according to the way that you need it, and that's how I started bodybuilding. I saw a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger, actually saw him in South Africa, and the ladies who were training with the strength training, I was doing karate, kung fu, JKA, and I realized that this is actually something that I want to do. And only with the weight training did I realize that you can sculpt your body to be the way you want to be. And then it's about the symmetry. So for me, it was always about the symmetry, staying in good proportion for my body, for what I needed. And hence, that's how I came to compete. For normal women, just to train 3 times a week, have a split routine, going to the gym. Mondays, you could maybe do back and shoulders. Wednesday, you can do legs and chest. And then, of course, on Fridays, you can do a little bit of abs and triceps. It depends entirely on what your goal is and what you need. But strength training for me is absolutely number one. It helps to avoid injuries. I can take my time in the gym. I can really focus on lifting, and it helps you to focus on your breathing. It's really got a lot of advantages. I have won many, many medals over the years. I think the highlight for me was winning the Natural Olympia in Las Vegas and becoming a pro bodybuilder, winning my pro card. That was actually when I was 50 years old. Who would have thought at the age of 50? So I did have a gap for a couple of years because of my children, and I focused on my children. But then I came back to competing again, and I would say that the first 5 years from the age of 50 to 55 was really the highlight of my bodybuilding career when it came to bikini and fitness. I competed in Italy, I competed in Rome, I competed in Czech, and it was just incredible that I won. Now at my age, it's wonderful Sadly, there's not enough women to compete against me, but I would love for it to grow, that women can feel that even at their age, they can still stand on stage in a bikini. Why not? It varies from person to person, also from age to age. So I had a block when I became menopause, and no matter what I did, I actually struggled, but that's a whole another topic. If you're going on holiday, I would suggest, it depends, do you have a hotel that has got a gym there, or are you just going to take your bands or your TRX, which is one of my favorites, and have a consistent program? So I always say, try and stick to a program for a minimum of 6 weeks so that your body can respond. You can see how you're responding to, maybe this exercise is not good for you, and you can change and adjust accordingly. As far as nutrition is concerned, what I recommend my clients, I must be honest, there is this app which is for free. It's MyFitnessPal, and you can of course see how many calories you are burning as opposed to how many you are inputting. And that is a really good guideline to make sure that you're getting the balance of good carbohydrates, good fats, as well as your proteins. Of course, everybody is very different, but MyFitnessPal, as far as nutrition is concerned and trying to keep the weight down, is really excellent. But don't forget your water. Of course. So with puberty, you really need to be aware that there are huge hormonal changes. So obviously, kids can jump around, they can pick up heavy weights. A lot of people are against children picking up weights, but I say the weight that they carry on their backpacks is quite a bit. So a slight weight training type of CrossFit style for kids is really good. Of course, you have to be careful of the PMS with the girl because of her estrogen levels. So all workouts and programs, including running programs, should be worked out according to PMS. A guy with his puberty, you have to be very careful. As far as pregnancy is concerned, of course, there's massive hormonal changes in the body. And of course, a special hormone comes out where you can overstretch the client because her body is now at the stage where it needs to stretch. And if you're going to give her extra stretching might not be good at this time because of this extra hormone that she will have. Menopause, of course, I suggest that you work together with either a naturopath or together with your doctor to balance the hormones, because the biggest problem for me was that I found that my estrogen levels dropped so much, and I lost motivation, I lost energy to train. But once we got that balanced, everything came to. But there is definitely a distinction between puberty, between PMS, between pregnancy and menopause. Huge differences. But it's up to you as the trainer, or you to find a trainer that knows all the differences in these areas. Yeah. So once again, it leads to the woman and her age. For example, sometimes if you're in menopause and you give a hit, and she's maybe breathing too fast with cortisol levels are too high. If you keep the cortisol levels high when she's training, she's not going to lose weight. No matter what she tries, she can spend hours on the treadmill and she will not lose weight. There's a whole lot of different factors. So what I would say is learn how to breathe when you're exercising, calm your system down. HIIT is definitely amazing. A 4 minutes Tabata, for example, with a couple of squat jumps, a couple of lunges, maybe hold the plank, and of course, maybe just running on the spot. It can be very basic, depending on you and your needs and how much weight you need to lose. Of course, the norm goes that what you input needs to be what your input needs to be less than your output, right? In some cases, this is not the case. You don't know if the person has got thyroid problems. You don't know. But I always say, go for a blood check, test all your vitamin levels, all your minerals, all your hormones, and get the report from the doctor. Get the go-ahead to clear. Maybe you might just be lacking vitamin B2 or K. You might be just lacking some vitamins, and that's the reason why you can't lose weight. But generally, good exercise, a good nutrition plan, a balanced program, and that can definitely help you to lose weight. So I would say that normally your average person, if they are particularly fit, depending on age, height, it depends on how many calories they need, resting calories and calories that you're burning. But generally, I would say 3 meals a day. 3 meals a day is really good. There is a lot of intermittent fasting. I would recommend for the younger generation, have your 3 meals a day. Try have at least 3 to 4 hours in between, but have a meal which is balanced with, say, 500 calories, where you've got a balance, maybe 50% a low calorie, no carb, 50% protein, 25% fats, and 25% carbohydrates. Once again, it really varies depending from person to person. Good balance. You can do it just with the 4-box breathing. The 4-box breathing is inhale. I'll do it this way. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold it for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds and hold it for 4 seconds. So you do the box breathing, and this can calm your central nervous system down. And there you go. You are now lowering the cortisol levels. You're going into the parasympathetic way of breathing. Most of us stay in the sympathetic way. We're rushing to get changed. We're rushing to get to the gym. We get to the class and we are so hyped up. It's really good. Just breathe. Just breathe. The 4-box breathing is a wonderful method, no matter what time of the day, sitting in the car, sitting in the bus, wherever you are, that you can practice. So ladies, I always suggest, what do you want out of life? What do you want? Take a notepad and write what you want out of your life. It shouldn't be about anybody else, but what do you want? What do you want inside? What is your goal? What is your passion? Take time, just sit, or meditation can be walking in nature and just talking, looking around. What do I want? What does Lee want? What do I want out of life? Write it down. If this is your goal and this is your dream, how are you going to achieve that dream? Write it down. What is going to make you happier? How are you going to feel much better about yourself? Number 1, take care of you. Look after you before anybody else. Gift yourself with exercise. It is the greatest gift that you can give to your body and to yourself before anything else. What do you like to eat? A lot of people want to put you on all these crazy diets, but you are on this diet and this is not what you enjoy eating. Find a diet or an eating plan that works for you. I always recommend, don't think of it as a diet, or don't think that I'm going to start dieting today, because then in the brain it tells you I'm actually going on diet, and you start craving for things that you never craved for before. Think of foods, write down, what would you like to eat for breakfast? What would you like to eat for lunch? What would you like to eat for dinner? What is going to feed you and give you joy? And that is the most important. Write it down, have a goal, write it down. How are you going to get to that goal? And make it happen every single day. Last but not least, every single morning as you wake up, it's a new day. Be grateful for today and be thankful. Send it out into the universe. Say, here I am. Thank you. I am here. I can handle anything that life throws at me. Go throughout the day. Look at little things. Find little things to look at. Smile at somebody. Show gratitude to somebody. Maybe you are the lighthouse to somebody else in this dark world. At the end of the day, take time. Just close your eyes and say, thank you. Thank you for another day, for gifting me with another day. And I can get through it again tomorrow.